Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurme Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanyatrambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Divilingaya Namaha. Urdhva-Lingaya Namaha. Anandalingaya Namaha. Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha. Shri Hanuman Ji Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabhanjanaya. Sukham Kuru Kuru Phat Swaha Om. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 12th of October 2025. I want to offer my prostrations, Anantakoti Namaskara, to all the great sages present on the planet today, to all the great devotees, bhaktas, sadhakas, spiritual seekers present on the planet today, and to the one unparalleled super consciousness, supreme consciousness, Parabrahma Paramatma, residing in the heart of all beings at all places, in all places at all times. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. With that prarthana, we are continuing to examine the connection between prema bhakti, jivan mukta sthiti, meaning living liberation, and brahmacharya. So today, to continue from yesterday, we started talking about the Urdhva-Reeta path. The Urdhva-Reeta means that the sublimation of the sexual energies is 100% internally, it's conserved and transmuted, and it is used for much higher purposes. The sages who have mastered, who are known at least, I mean there's others who are quite a few that are not known, unknown, but Vivekananda Swami is a famous sage for this. Swami Ram Tirth, Raman Maharishi, these very big saints, including in the Swaminarayan Parampara, Bhagavan Swaminarayan himself, Gopalanand Swami, Gunatitanand Swami, बहुत बड़े बड़े संत परंपरा अभी भी परंपरा में है. In the Swaminarayan Sampradaya, there's a lot of emphasis on this with regards to the sadhus, the tyagis, those who are renunciate monks, tyagi sadhu. They are trying to establish Urdhva-Reeta Naishtik Brahmacharya. It can be done by anyone who wants to, but as we mentioned yesterday, there is the realization of the significance of the Shakti that is conserved. You know, it is very similar to realizing the power of conserving money, let's say. Well, so if you have $1,000, you say, I want to save $1,000. How do you feel? Feel pretty good. Okay, it's saved. It's available. It's a potentiality. So when energy is saved, when the sex energy is saved inside, it is not lost from inside. That is sex energy conservation. Shakti ka conservation hota hai isme. And that includes conservation across the board. It's not just the sexual experience, it's other experiences also. So our emotions are better quality, anger, greed, fear, energy damaging phenomena stops. This is the goal. And if the attention is placed on sublimation of the core sex energy in the male body or the female body, if that attention is kept, all of the other areas in the energetic damage aspect will be stopped. I mean, that energy damage will stop in the other areas. Also, we'll know how to stop them. That intelligence awakens from inside. That the energy is being drained in different places. It's like you start saving money. Now you have $10,000 in the bank account. But then a person starts using that money in certain way. Okay, it definitely has to be used. But the real question is, can it be used as a vitamin M? This is the concept. There's a book written on this by one of our individuals here in Delaware. I can send that to you. It's freely available on his website. The question is about, I'll give you a simple analogy so we can understand this point carefully. Let's say you have $10,000 in the bank account and you go to shopping somewhere or wherever, it doesn't matter. Maybe at a grocery store or wherever. And you spend $100. The question is, can that $100 be spent as a vitamin M? Vitamin M concept is that it's an energizer. Now you're taking $100 out of the $10,000 and you're using it to energize, to give the maximum experience, the maximum joy, the maximum benefit in all areas of one's life from that $100. Is it possible? Yes, definitely. But it's possible if our intelligence is awakened in that direction. Otherwise, it will not be possible. Otherwise, people buy impulsively, just for the satisfaction, just for some impulsive buying and shopping and impulsive eating and things like that. But the vitamin M concept is that money is to be used as a vitamin. Just as we take a vitamin pill, we don't take 1,000 pills of a vitamin. We take 1 pill a day, maybe 2 pills a day, maybe 3 pills a day. That's all. We don't take 50 pills, 100 pills, 1,000 pills. Similarly, even if you have $10,000 in the bank account, if you can use $100 of it for maximum benefit of oneself and for family and for others, it's minimal use that produces maximal benefit without being miserly, without being loby, without being greedy, without being stingy. See the concept, understand the concept very clearly. There's a whole book written on this, and I will definitely share the link with all of you, and the PDF also. Amazing. It's a tremendous idea. To not be miserly, not be egotistical, not be greedy, not be stingy, to use $100 out of the 10,000 to purchase items that are then utilized, consumed in a way that gives the maximum benefit. I'll give you my own example in something like this, that many times, I love to go to bookstores, let's say. You go to different bookstores and, we'll purchase, let's say, a $25 book. Okay. I have plenty of them like that. At my place. When you come here to see this place, you will see them here. There's quite a few number of books here. But what if I purchase the book and I don't read it at all? The only experience I have from that $25 is what? That the book is available. It's mine. I have the experience. Ye mera hai. Itna anubhav hai. Yes. Just like a person who has the $10,000 in the bank account, mera hai. That anubhav of me is there. Okay, fine. It is there. But that anubhav of the me, what is its purpose? Other than the experience of this is mine. Other than that experience, nothing is gained from it. Not for me, not for anybody else. If I buy the $25 book and I keep it at home and I keep it in my bookshelf somewhere and I don't open it, I don't read it, I don't do anything. I just have the feeling this is mine. This is where energy, in the sex energy, is like it is conserved, it is available. But iska karna kya? That is another question. If it is conserved, there's many techniques to conserve it. Yes. Because one has to, just like earning money, one has to, eat food and all kinds of physiological processes there to conserve the Shakti. Iska conservation hota hai, but there's utilization. So the $25 is used to purchase a book. Now, how do I make maximum use of that $25? This is the vitamin M concept. Then I start to read the book. I can read the book casually. It's one use. At least some use is there. But I can read the book in a lot of detail, take notes, make notes in the margins, take my additional notes, do some additional research. I can extract the maximum use of a $25 book would be to extract every single morsel of knowledge and interconnect it with my understanding, other understanding, and really internally unlock all of its amazing possibilities. How many people read books like that? Have we ever read a book like that in our life? Do you understand? I hope you understand this analogy. If a person does that with a $25 book, that is called vitamin M. Money was used, but now it is used as a vitamin. Look at the energy that comes, the knowledge that comes, the wisdom that comes. You don't need to spend another $1,000 to do that. Just unlock that $25 book. Is it not so? Think about this point. Similarly, when energy Shakti is conserved, it is going to be utilized as a vitamin. It is going to be utilized in a certain small amount that produces the maximum benefit. I'll give you a simple example of Vivekananda Swami. Vivekananda Swami gave that lecture at the Conference of Religions, and he started with brothers and sisters, and he got a standing ovation just from that. And then the speech is very famous, the Chicago speech. It wasn't a very long speech, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, something like whatever the time period was. It wasn't like 10, 15 hours or something like that. All the other orators, the presenter started with ladies and gentlemen. He started with brothers and sisters. Universality, standing ovation, and became one of the most famous speeches given in the history of Sanatana Dharma. In the history of the world, I would even go far to say is that. Why? Because he's used his conserved Brahmacharya energy and Guru Krupa, Ramakrishna Paramahansa Ji ki Daya Krupa, unki Krupa Drishti. Both of them were combined together, and this extraordinary speech came out. This is an example of vitamin M. This is an example of conserved energy. Little bit of energy. How much of that conserved energy did he use for a half an hour or 45 minutes or maybe an hour, whatever the time period was? It's not a whole lot of energy, but it is the highest quality energy used in that small period of time that has the maximum benefit. Look at the benefit. Even today, people are studying that speech and listening to it and talking about it and expositions on it. Kitna hota hai? This is an example of a small amount of highly purified, conserved Ojas Shakti that is utilized, not just conserved, it is utilized as a seva for all, for oneself, for all, for family, for everyone, without any harm towards anybody. That speech that Vivekananda Ji gave is a prime example. That is one way that this energy is utilized. Energy is always utilized. We cannot live without energy utilization. But to utilize energy, we have to have energy. If Sachin goes to the shopping center and say, I want to spend, $5,000 at the mall, I must have $5,000 first before I can spend that. I may want to spend $5,000. Bank may only $100 is there, $200 is there. Kya spend karenge? ऐसी बात है. This is all a comparison I'm giving here with the sexuality, with the Brahmacharya Shakti. The more it is conserved, the better it can be utilized with Jnana, with Vairagya, with understanding. In the relationships, in Grahastha Ashram also, it can be utilized beautifully for enhancement of the relationship. And I do want to talk about that, a little bit more about that tomorrow, about the mixture of meditation in the Grahastha Ashram, in the intimacy aspect. That is, and then also for people who are having hyper vasanas, what to do with that. So that's another interesting subject, but I do want to cover that. But I want to just talk a little bit about this today, that it's more clear about conservation, utilization. Conservation and utilization. That is called Urdhva-Reeta. Urdhva-Reeta Naishtik Brahmacharya. Because Urdhva-Reeta means that the essence of the internal power has been turned upward. Urdhva means going up. The Retas is the refined Shakti. Brahman is what? Infinite reality, absolute consciousness, the unchanging substratum of all existence. इसको अक्षर ब्रह्म कहते हैं, इसको अक्षरधाम भी कहते हैं. What is the difference between अक्षर ब्रह्म and अक्षरधाम, by the way? उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है, वो सेम ही है. But the word dham is used to refer because it's an abode word. The dhami, अक्षरधामी, वो पुरुषोत्तम भगवान और भगवान के जो मुक्त है वहाँ रहते हैं. That is why it is called अक्षरधाम. It's another थोड़ा तत्व ज्ञान की बात है वो. But the point is, Brahmacharya means, it's composed of two words, Brahman, and the word is Charya. Or Charya, C-A-R-Y-A. Charya means conduct, movement, disciplined mode of living. It is to move our internal Shakti in such a way, in a very disciplined, beautiful way, that it eventually is connected and goes back into the Brahman. To move in Brahman, to live in alignment with consciousness of the Absolute. That is called a Brahmacharya. How beautiful is that? And that itself is a key pillar, key aspect of Jivan Mukti. Sachin ko Jivan Mukta banna hai, really banna hai. I may give lip service to that. How many people talk about this? Even the spiritual discourse is given. Yes, it is discussed. But to actually systematically take the path, to say, ye banna hai, ye banna hi hai, ye sthiti mein jana hi hai, there's no fallback. Then we'll reach there. That tenacity. In Gujarati we say khap. Mumukshutva. Shankaracharya ji kehte tivra mumukshutvam. If that awakens, when that awakens, then there's no falling back. Even though there are some fallbacks, there's no permanent falling back. There's no saying, I cannot get up. No, get up again. You move on further. Bahut adbhut baat hai. It's a fantastic, fantastic point to grasp. And when Shakti, we realize that we have great wealth. This is the आंतरिक शक्ति. ये सेक्स की जो शक्ति है, जिसको कहते हैं वासना की शक्ति है, ये जो जो काम वासना की शक्ति है. Vasanas are the deeply ingrained repetitive patterns inside. We want to come out of that into bhakti. Just keep rolling around in that vasana is going to destroy that shakti. Yes, that's called vasana shakti. But vasana में बहुत शक्ति है. When we bring the shakti out of vasanas, then they can be used for bhakti. भक्ति में जो शक्ति है वो वासना की ही शक्ति है. वो इच्छा शक्ति. इच्छा शक्ति means I want this. Sachin says, I want this experience. For example, the sexual thing, with the male, female, and all the other variations, LGBTQI, and all the other variations. वो उसमें क्या है? You want the experience through which is that stimulation, or which is that connection through another person. Or with the contact with another person, that is the stimuli, right? So that experience is bhoga. That experience uses energy. It is the experience that is sought. Or jivan kya hai? What is life? Life is the only anubhav, experience, nothing else. That is life. So when we realize this, there is a meditative realization that the Shakti is being used, our core power is being used to create the experience of pleasure, sukha, the orgasmic sukha, the internal experience of pleasure in sex. What is that? That is a great Shakti that is being used there. Kam ka jo anubhav hai. Particularly the संभोग जिसको कहते हैं, स्त्री संबंधी भोग, पुरुष संबंधी भोग, ये सब भोग की बात है. भोग means what? Enjoyment. Bhog means enjoyer. there is an enjoyer, that is the Jivatma, that is identified with the entire sexual response cycle and says, I am enjoying this, and the whole experience is going on in that way. Isko kehte hai bhog, and jo bhogta hai, bhokta, the one who is experiencing, that is actually the Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva, Atma Tattva. But it has gotten mixed inside the three gunas of Maya. So when Shakti is taken out of bhog into yoga, see this point. Shakti is deliberately, consciously, mindfully, through Guru Krupa, like Vivekananda Swami, pulled it out of bhog into yoga. When a person does that, then they can move in the path of Urdhva-Reeta Naishtik Brahmacharya. And this is what we're talking about. We talked about the Grahastha path before, so you can listen to the past recordings on that. Right now, in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, we're specifically talking about Urdhva-Reeta Naishtik Brahmacharya. And this is the first point, is to pull energy, Shakti, out of the vritti for bhog. Bhog में जो वृत्ति है, वो वृत्ति में जो शक्ति है, वो शक्ति को निकाल देना भोग वृत्ति में से, if I said that correctly in Hindi. ભોગ માંથી મનને ખેંચી નાખવું અને ભગવાનમાં જોડવું. So there is the pulling of energy out of the dimension of just that sexual response cycle. We're talking about the sexual response cycle specifically here. But Brahmacharya is a bigger concept than that. We're pulling energy out of that, pulling the mind out of that. How does that happen? How can a person pull one's vritti, manovritti, out of this thing? There's a very long and difficult way, and there's a very straightforward way. The straightforward way, the direct way, is to recognize that energy is being damaged. Hari Om. Energy is being damaged. Iska akhand anusandhan. Bhagwan Swaminarayan कहते हैं अखंड जानपणु अनुसंधान. Anusandhan means constant awareness that energy is not to be damaged. Just like, if you have $1 million in the bank account, how does it feel? I mean, I don't have that experience. Some of you may have had that. I don't know. If you have $1 million account and you see the bank statement, or you look out online, kaisa lagta hai? That's it is a worldly example. You don't say, I'm a millionaire. I don't want $1 to decrease from there. Because then if $1 decreases, I will no longer be a millionaire. Even just to tell, you may not tell anybody else. Maybe just your immediate family might know. But millionaire is a person who has $1 million, not $1 less. ऐसी बात है. He says, no. भगवान की भक्ति में बिल्कुल disturbance नहीं होना चाहिए. Then that is the highest thing actually in life. One is a internally wealthy, maha anand ki sthiti hai ye. That Sachin can say, a yogi can say, a bhakta can say, I want, to completely bring my mind out of bhog into bhakti. B to B. From bhog to bhakti. B to B. It is a formula, very simple. भोग में से निकाल देना कितनी बड़ी बात है. क्या बात है, अद्भुत बात है. In Grahastha ashram, maybe at some point, I mentioned it a few days back, the couple can decide to do this. कि अभी भगवान की भक्ति बहुत हो गया. Enough, children are there, family members are there, money is there, home is there, career is there, सब कुछ भोग लिया, सब कुछ, अभी क्या करना है. This is why satsang is necessary for the whole family, for the couple, particularly in our subject now that is going on, for a married couple to eventually evolve into this sthiti. Abhi ye bhog ka बाजू में रख देना, बहुत हो गया, अभी भगवान की भक्ति करेंगे. Now this becomes a Shiv Shakti relationship with your partner. in Grahastha ashram. Or obviously Vivekananda Swami, Sajanand Maharaj and others, all these fantastic yogis and all, they were not Grahasthas. So unka mark from childhood is Urdhva-Reeta Brahmacharya. It's a different path, but the goal is the same. The goal is the same. In Grahastha ashram, it's a scenic route. You get to see the dynamics of Prakriti and go through it, but to go through it in a way to not be trapped there, and then to eventually evolve out of it. But anyway, in Urdhva-Reeta Brahmacharya, भोग में से वृत्ति संपूर्ण निकालते हैं योगी. बड़े बड़े भक्तों, बड़े बड़े योगी जो है, ज्ञानी है, ध्यान योगी है, ज्ञान योग, भक्ति योग, सांख्य योग, किसी भी प्रकार का योग, doesn't matter. It means pulling energy out of bhog. That doesn't mean you're not interacting with the world. There is an interaction, but there is awareness of keeping the sex energy intact and not letting it dissipate, get lost or damaged by an orgasm. That's called Stri Sambandhi Sukh in Gujarati. And Stri ne Vishay Purush Sambandhi Sukh. Because orgasm uses energy. Yes, there's a lot of energy used in that. It's a neuropsychological energy. But that same energy, which is very, very powerful and refined, it can be used for bhakti. It can be used in a dynamic way to realign all the chakras, to realign the entire system, where the systematic harmonization of the body, mind, and vital energy happens at the highest levels to reach the Brahman. So Brahmacharya is not a negation of desire, but the spiritualization of desire. It is not an escape from life, but the refinement of life energy into awareness, into akhanda ananda. बहुत सुंदर बात है. Extraordinarily beautiful. Extraordinarily beautiful. The beauty, real beauty, not just the physical attributes. Saundarya. Saundarya means the inner beauty. That is the glow of Brahma Tej. Tejasvi, Ojasvi. इसमें अद्भुत शक्ति, इसमें what happens in it is a glowing life. It is not a life tormented by fear, anger, desire, damage. No, all the damage is stopped. The damage to the body, mind, senses, energies, relationships, all that stops when one sets a destination for Brahmacharya and tries Brahmacharya. Amazing. See, in the Vedic understanding of existence, human life is viewed as a sacred pilgrimage of the jiva towards self-realization. It is a pilgrimage. ये शरीर जो मिला है, it is, we are pilgrims. You know what's a pilgrim, right? Person taking a pilgrimage to reach divinity, going to different holy places and all that. But you cannot go there unless there's a vehicle or sitting in a vehicle. There's a means to do that. This body, this human life in its entirety is a sacred pilgrimage. Sacred means holy, it means divine, it means the journey is divine. ये जो जीवन की जो यात्रा है वो दिव्य बन जाती है भगवान की भक्ति में. This is called sacred pilgrimage. Who is the pilgrim? The Jivatma. The Jivatma is the embodied soul that is trying to realize Brahman, trying to realize Parabrahma, Bhagwan. The human body is not simply a psychophysical organism driven by instinctual survival. It is not just that. ये तो पशु के लेवल है. इसीलिए भगवान शंकर को कहते हैं पशुनाम पतिम पापनाशम परेशम. ये जो there's a beautiful set of verses. वेद स्तुति है, कुछ वेद सार स्तवन ऐसा कुछ है. There are different stotras written like this. But you see, Bhagwan Shankar is called Pashupatinath. Who is the Pashu? We are. And of course the animals are already Pashu, but we are also born as a Pashu. Pashu meaning animal. Pashunam Patim. Pashu means Pashupati. Pashupati means the one who is the master of the Pashu. The animal instincts that we have, the animal life that human beings are living, or less than animal life, unfortunately, it needs to go into Pashupatinath. मंदिर है ना नेपाल में, पशुपतिनाथ का अद्भुत मंदिर है. You see, so that is the Atma. Bhagwan Shankar is the Atma. जीव माथी शिव, जीव में से शिव की यात्रा है, ये यात्रा है. And that is a sacred pilgrimage. And that is a pilgrimage from the Muladhara Chakra to the Sahasrara Chakra and beyond. It is a pilgrimage from the Jeev to the Shiv. It is a pilgrimage from Bhog to Yog. It is a pilgrimage from Rag, Dvesh, Aham, Mamatva into Param Bhakti, into saintliness. It is a pilgrimage from Bandhan into Jivan Mukti. ये शरीर इसके लिए है. हम समझते नहीं है, ऐसा ही सब वेस्ट हो जाता है. नहीं, जागरूक बन जाओ. Right now, don't waste 1 second even. Awaken. Vivekananda ji कहते हैं, arise, awake. Stop not until the goal is reached. And this is possible for us. This Manan Chintan we're doing on an everyday basis by Guru Krupa, by Bhagwan ki daya. ये सत्य बात है. Not because Sachin is saying so. Sachin is not the person. This is being transmitted through this body mind as a seva. And it is correct. The material, you can look it up, you can do research. If there's some questions or comments, or even say, no, I don't agree with that, okay, fine. There might be some other perspectives. There are, of course. People who say we want to just eat, drink, be merry. Hedonism. Karo. हम किसी को कुछ नहीं कहते. आपकी इच्छा करो, eat, drink and be merry. और क्या? ऐसा ही जीवन खलास हो जाएगा. Rebirth. According to metaphysics, rebirth upon rebirth. Okay. Okay, but that's also an experience. But there's a limit there. This is the Gnan part. There's a Gnanam that comes out, बहुत हो गया. अब इसमें क्या नया क्या है इसमें? But Jeev is stuck inside this thing. See, so it doesn't realize, human beings don't realize that we are on a sacred pilgrimage towards God realization, for higher realization. So the human being is not simply a psychophysical organism driven by instinctual survival. Instead, rather, it is a microcosmic manifestation of Brahman, endowed with the potential to consciously rediscover its divine source. I'll explain that. We have an opportunity. We are called Pinda, and there's Brahmanda. We are a miniaturized form of that supreme consciousness. That same supreme consciousness is present here, and we have the possibility through this body to consciously rediscover our own divine source, where we came from, who we are. The disciplined life of Brahmacharya is therefore seen as a great sadhana, spiritual discipline, enabling this rediscovery. By practicing Brahmacharya, one preserves and refines Shukra Shakti, the vital reproductive energy, or the subtle bio-spiritual essence that sustains physical and psychic vitality. That is the definition of Shukra Shakti. Shukra Shakti is defined as this, the vital reproductive energy. This is one definition. Another definition is a little bit more intricate, that the subtle, meaning sukshma, bio-spiritual essence that sustains physical and psychic vitality. Physical vitality, psychological vitality is sustained by Shukra Shakti. If you're making notes, you can write these two words down. Through meditative awareness, this Shukra Shakti is transmuted into Ojas. What is Ojas? If you remember, that is the luminous spiritual vigor that fuels higher cognition. It fuels higher compassion. it fuels intuitive knowledge. This is called Shukra Shakti. Amazing. So this transmutation, the word transmutation in Gujarati, we say Prakruti nu Parivartan. I don't know about Marathi or Hindi, how to say that exactly. Prakruti ka, I don't know exactly the language for that, but maybe you can tell me. But the Prakruti nu Parivartan, it is transmutation in English. It is the ascent of energy from gross to subtle. From the gross level, from just the physical level to the sukshma level. It is the essence of Urdhva-Reeta, the upward flow of the vital current. It signifies an ontological inversion wherein the energy that ordinarily moves downward and outward towards sense objects is directed inward and upward, fueling consciousness rather than craving. Craving is fueled, right? I want this and I want this and I want this, and this kind of enjoyment, this kind of jumping. But the fuel of Brahmacharya is used for upward. It's the inward redirection, in and up. In and up. This is yoga. You bring it inside. Bring it inside. Bring God inside. Bring bhakti inside. Bhakti is inside. All the external rituals that we do, they are done for inner development. Bring it inside. And that fuels consciousness. It brings energy into our mind to open the doorway into the supreme consciousness. This is called transmutation. At the deepest level, Brahmacharya represents the alignment of the microcosm and the macrocosm. Microcosm is this body, Pinda. Macrocosm is Brahmand. And so there's also alignment of the Jivatma with the Brahman. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmana Paraha. They are the same substance. This alignment, it is an alignment inside. और वो जो alignment जब होती है, there's no equivalent to that in life, folks. There's nothing equal to that. None. And this purpose of this life is to align the Jivatma with Brahman. Nijatmanam Brahmarupam. Shikshapatri, Shlok 116. Dehatraya vilakshanam vibhavitena kartavya bhakti krishnasya sarvada. Kitni sundar baat hai. How fantastic. It is an alignment. And once we decide, because we have decision capacity, intelligence, to decide, कभी शक्ति अलाइन करनी है भक्ति में, मुक्ति मुक्त स्थिति बनना है, वो वहां जाना है, वो स्थिति प्राप्त ही करनी है, जो भी हो. Not to damage time, remaining amount of time, not to damage energy or time or हमारी जो वृत्ति है. Grahasth ashram should be done in the best possible way. Eventually a husband, wife or whoever they are, the relationship, they decide mindfully that अभी बहुत हो गया. ऐसा तो कुछ, at some point this should come. You have 75-year-olds, 80-year-olds running after women, still running after this and that, women running after. This is internal poverty. भगवान की भक्ति नहीं की. Doesn't matter which religion. Christian हो तो चर्च में जाना, भगवान के साथ लिंक जोड़ना. Most churches are empty most of the time. जाता है कोई? Only on Sunday certain people go. जो भी है. Most people, they don't even go. इसका क्या purpose है? People should be going every day, reading Bibles, doing Bible study, whatever they are doing. And on that basis, they can use their connection. I've had a conversation with someone recently about this. I said, lady is a Christian. I said, you go into Christianity. It's fine. Connect with God through that tradition. Somebody is in the Hindu tradition, connect with the Hindu tradition. Jewish tradition, उसमें से करो. जो भी है, Sikh tradition, उसमें don't waste time. This body will be gone. Body is going to go. But it should go in such a way that we have utilized it to its 100% capacity. And to do so, that Shakti needs to be transmuted. It's like that $10,000 example, can I use it to the 100% capacity to bring about the maximum experiences from that money, from that opportunity, rather than simply living an egotistical life? When will the 10,000 becomes 20,000? Yeah, that's fine. Increase that. But itna hi karna hai. Some people only have that goal. They just want to increase that. Ye maha agnan hai. You don't use any of it. What's the point? The only experience is that I'm something, I. इतना ऐसे ही मर जाते, इसका कोई अर्थ? ठीक है, that's an experience. Somebody wants that, okay, आपकी इच्छा. Sachin is not criticizing anybody, but according to Shastras and saints and scriptures, इसको महा अज्ञान कहते हैं. To just do this, it's the same thing as if Sachin buys books. I buy a lot of books. I buy thousands of books. I keep them inside a big library at home. एक भी पुस्तक ओपन नहीं किया. क्या अर्थ क्या है इसका? What is the point actually? Buy 10 books and study them thoroughly. इसका बहुत meaning है. This is vitamin M. Just to accumulate. And somebody else will take that when this body goes. Some children will take it, grandchildren will take it, somebody else will take it. And उसमें attachment if that attachment is there, one will then be reborn in that family again. Chasing that same thing. मेरा कुछ नहीं है मेरा. क्या है मेरा? सब तेरा है, not मेरा. And when we recognize how to use Shakti, whether it is money, whether it is knowledge, whether it is books, whether it is food, whether it is relationships, everything in life, when we use it for seva and for bhakti and for development, it has to be used, but it is used without entanglement, without binding, without tearing oneself apart. Isko divya jivan kehte hain. On that note, let's stop here for now. We are at 9:02. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Shrim Rim Klim Glom Gam Ganapate. Varavarada Sarvajanam Meva Shamane Svaha. Sarvamangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanyatrambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Saunstita. Namastasya, 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 namo namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Svaha. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Rim Svaha.